Hi and welcome back to my channel. It has been 6 months since I last posted a video. It's been a long time. It seemed like an appropriate time to recap the last half year of our lives with baby Culver. So I'll be sharing our labor story, his birth story, his baby stats from when he was born. I'll also be sharing an honest opinion of the last 6 months with a newborn, as well as my postpartum experience and just kind of the shift with music with Maur. I'll also be sharing just the top 10 products I've been most grateful for in the last 6 months. So stay tuned for whatever part you are excited to hear. So we'll start with the birth story, labor story. Some of you know that I tried the salad and Culver was a salad baby, which just means that Nate and I had heard of a restaurant in LA that's famous for a salad. They claim that the dressing induces labor. And what is amazing is that after 12 hours, so at 1 a.m., I started having contractions. Culver was sunny side up, which meant that I had back labor, which is extremely painful, but also it took me a while, and by a while I mean 3 hours, to cue in to the fact that these actually were contractions. They were every 3 to 10 minutes for the first couple of hours, excruciating. Nate woke up because I was bouncing on the yoga ball in our room at 2 a.m. At 4 a.m., mucus plug came out and I called labor and delivery, told them I think I'm having back labor. Mucus plug just came out and they basically said take Tylenol or a hot shower or come in if you need an epidural. I did try taking Tylenol, took a hot shower. Sweet Nate was right outside the door, timing every contraction while I was showering, and they were getting closer, like under 3 minutes. I hopped out of the shower real quick just to put clothes on and rush over to the hospital. At 7:05, as I was putting on my pants, my water broke. It was like the movies. I know it's not always like that, but it was just a pop and a burst of liquid rushing down. So then we were on super speed. Well, Nate was on super speed trying to get out the door. I could barely move. I remember praying that the elevator would be empty because I didn't want any of our neighbors to just have the awkward moment being stuck in the elevator with a woman in labor. So anyways, we made it to the car, made it to the hospital, texting friends, got admitted to the hospital. The midwife came in to check me immediately and I was already fully dilated. So they just rushed me into the room and within an hour, Culver was born. Which is still a moment that I think about probably every day, at least a couple times a week. Just the most amazing, obviously indescribable event. Culver was quite healthy, which is a huge blessing. He was 9 pounds, 4 ounces, 20.8 inches long. We all knew, obviously, that he was big when he came out, but we were still surprised with the stats, and he has stayed a big boy the whole time. Unsurprisingly, it is quite difficult to navigate those first few weeks, months. We don't get a ton of sleep, but if I'm honest, my pregnancy insomnia was so incredibly bad that I got better sleep the first few weeks that he was a newborn than I did at the end of pregnancy because the quality of sleep just increases. I felt more rested after giving birth. I will say that the hardest days of being a mom were day 3 and day 100. Maybe it's a little weird that I took note of that, but day 3 is when you go in for their first like pediatrician appointment usually, and your hormones are crashing. It's also really difficult to get everybody dressed and out the door on time. It can be a bit emotional to hear anything from the pediatrician that's not like 100% perfect. Oh, and day 100, we were getting ready for Culver's first flight. We got to visit some friends in Colorado and our washer and dryer broke. So moving on to top 10 favorite products of the past 6 months. If you're a breastfeeding mom or you want to be, the 3 products that I enjoy the most that I would recommend are number 1, the LV Stride breast pump. Super efficient, super easy to learn how to use, easy to clean. The other one was the main one that a friend recommended to me, and that's to have like a hot pack. I think mine was like a cloth bag with rice in it. You just put it in the microwave for a few minutes and then put it on, and it helps with the release, the letdown. I would highly recommend lanolin cream or some sort of ointment to put on after feeds because it's It's difficult, it's painful. For baby products, the two things that we really splurged on, and by splurge, I just mean we were daring enough to put these more pricey items on our registry, and then we had wonderful friends and family members who bought them for us. We love our crib, and I'll link everything down below because it's a bassinet on wheels that becomes a bigger crib, and then later it becomes a toddler bed, and it's aesthetically pleasing and we love it, and it worked for us. We had Culver in our room originally, and then we started wheeling the bassinet into his nursery for nap times, and eventually he started sleeping in his room at night, and he adjusted really easily to that change. I think because he was in the same bassinet. We also have a really nice stroller. It is the Uppa Baby Vista. It's so smooth. And Culver and I go for at least one walk a day in the stroller. The car seat attaches into the stroller and back into the car so well. We use our monitor daily. I'm sure there are 1,000 types of monitors out there, maybe not 1,000. We really like the one that we have. It zooms in if you need to check that he's breathing. You can move the angle around from outside the room. You can change the volume, super helpful. For the postpartum moms, I would recommend PJ sets, lounge sets. That's what this is. That's what I live in as a stay-at-home mom now. I would also recommend getting some Allbirds tennis shoes. I go with almost everything in my closet, which is so nice. It doesn't matter if it's athleisure, you know, throwing on some sweats, some shorts, some casual wear, even a dress. I feel like most of what I have goes with my Allbirds shoes. They're so easy to put on and so comfortable, and we can walk for a couple hours, and I feel good about it. So I wanted to recommend. My final recommendation would just be to set up a postpartum fund as part of a registry. You can use it however you'd like. If you want to buy clothes that you'll feel more confident in, if you want to buy exercise classes or book consultations with a nutritionist, if you need to redo part of your house because you're always at home looking at it and wanting it changed. It doesn't really matter. But having a fund and knowing that people contributed to it and they care about you, getting a little face mask to throw on every time the baby takes a nap and you need to relax but you can't. Those little things make a difference, and so those are my top 10. I will say that postpartum is such a tricky time. It really is emotional. It's just going to happen. Your hormones are adjusting and all over the place, and they just went through months of craziness, and so you really do have to give yourself grace. It really does help to talk to other moms and see what they've experienced, even if it's not completely similar to your experience. Knowing that it's a weird adjustment for everybody is helpful. The mom guilt is a real thing. When I reached the 3-month mark, it was so crazy to think of going back to work, and it was incredibly indescribable again to have my husband offer for me to just stay home, at least, you know, for a bit longer, to enjoy being with the boy and preparing my heart, mind, and body for any changes that might come in the future. But then there's a huge amount of mom guilt that comes with comparing yourself maybe to your own expectations of what this time period was going to look like, or what you see other moms doing. Anyways, just throwing it out there. It's real and it's okay to work through. I just want to be abundantly clear about baby weight, but I'm being real with you guys, I gained over 50 pounds in pregnancy. Obviously Culver was a really big boy. I was 118 pounds the day we found out we were pregnant. After my water broke and I was admitted, I think I was like 172. Some of the weight just falls off because you're breastfeeding at the beginning, because you gave birth to a 9-pound boy and all of that. But some of it, I think your body keeps on reserve just in case you and the human that you're feeding need it later on. And it's hard to move for a while. You're recovering, and then you're also caring for a new life, a new baby. And so I did not think it would be as much of a struggle that it has been, both with how I view myself and with trying to exercise and get rid of weight that wants to stay. I'm currently about 20 pounds over my pre-pregnancy weight, which is not fun, but it's where I met, and I hope that it encourages somebody watching for me to share that. I was blessed by other people sharing with me their stories and their stats. And so, yeah, about the 6-month mark, still working on it. Okay, the music with Maur shift. I used to make YouTube videos. I would spend a whole week researching a certain population and how music affects the population, how music therapy plays an important role. And I loved those videos so much. They're really fun to put together. I don't have the bandwidth or the time to do the research and type out the paper and make the video and edit it. And so I have shifted just to make it more baby friendly. My primary channel is now on Instagram, making little tiny videos, bite-sized videos of Culver and I and our song of the week. I picked 52 songs, so we have a full year's worth of songs that you can sing with your kids, whether you are also a mom or a school teacher or a music therapist or a music therapy student. It doesn't really matter why you're here, but you can scroll through my feed and find inspiration for songs to sing with children. Because of my music therapy background, I will also explain the benefits of using each song, how you can use them to help your newborn, infant, toddler, child. So you can look forward to those coming out weekly on my Instagram and my TikTok channels, but I will try, we'll see, to also put those songs on YouTube, and I'll do them by months, most likely. So July we did campfire songs because Culver, Nate, and I went camping twice. It's now August, we're doing counting songs because kids are going back to school, and it really helps to know your numbers when you're in school. Each month has a different theme like that. So thank you for just joining me on this whole journey and process with the whole shift of motherhood, and for listening to our story. Feel free to follow along on Instagram and TikTok for cute videos of Culver every week.